Next speaker, we have Senator Rose Conway-Walsh. You have 8 minutes, Senator.
Thank you, Laska Hirlock, and I too want to congratulate you, Minister. I was delighted with your appointment, and it's great to see a woman of your calibre in that position. So I congratulate you, and I'm glad that you're here today. And as you said in your opening statement, indeed, we have much to celebrate. We have much to celebrate since Countess Markievicz, in many ways. You know, in the increased number of women we have in political life and in other decision-making places, and I very much welcome that. But the issue I have with it, I suppose, is that while we have, we have women appointed to senior positions. I mean, we had Maggie Thatcher as Prime Minister in the UK. You know, we've had presidents here in this country, which, women presidents, which again was very positive. So there are a lot of very positive things happening. But I think we always need to question ourselves, and we always need to dig down under the layers to see what is actually happening in relation to women, and to be able to assess in the round and in the fullness and wholesomeness of just how far we've come, and then maybe how far we haven't come in many other areas. So if we look for, in terms of, say, last month, for instance, it was exactly 5 years since Enda Kenny, the former Taoiseach, apologised to the Magdalen laundries, the women in the Magdalen laundries, on behalf of the state. And he gave a very sincere apology. He said that Mr Justice John Quirke's review with recommendations regarding the provision of payments and supports, including the medical cards and psychological and counselling services and other welfare needs for women, would all be provided. And there was also a commitment to a staffed consultative unit led by Justice Quirke to deal with the issues facing women. And it's really distressing for me as a woman to find out earlier this week that 7 of those women have actually passed away without those promises being kept. And I think, words are empty unless the promises are kept and unless the actions are there to underpin that, and the actions are delivered upon. And you talked in your speech about the pop-up museum, and indeed I think that's a really good initiative. And while I'm talking about it, I want to commend all of the women on the Vauxhall 100 committee, particularly the chairperson Ivana Bacik, for the work that she has done in progressing all of that, and the other women as well. And I think it demonstrates, given the space and given the time, what can be done to promote women. But I'm also mindful of the other women, like, say, Colette Corliss or Catherine Corliss, who today is telling us that she is not from Galway County Council and all of that, that in spite of all of the really good, earnest work that she has done with the Tuam babies, that she is not getting the support that she needs. So we need to put those supports in place so that she can finish the job that she set out to do. I'm also mindful of, Louise O'Keeffe from Cork. I mean, will she be in a pop-up museum? How is she acknowledged in terms of the battle that she fought to recognise and have recognised the abuse that happened to her as a child? So I think it's really important. See, in some places, and this is the problem I have, the state will say that we're so supportive of women, we want more women in decision making, women are really, we want women to be there as part of life, and yet they will use in other incidents, like in the case of Louise O'Keeffe, all of the instruments and all of the money available to the state to stop the likes of Louise O'Keeffe having a voice and others having a voice. And that really worries me. I just want to go back in terms of the promises that were made to the Magdalen women. And the other key recommendation was that there was a permanent memorial would be established. But again, that hasn't been delivered on. An opportunity has now arisen for the establishment of consultative process for women and a memorial at the former Sean McDermott Street laundry site, and the Justice Minister, I know, is responsible for the oversight and delivery of those recommendations, but has made little effort to progress the proposed memorial and has failed to offer up the committed funding for the project, and I really think that needs to be done. There was such promise contained in the apology, And psychologically, it hurts those women even more now when they see that those promises aren't delivered on in a timely way that they need to be. So it's important that achievements and suffering are acknowledged in suitable memorials, and this includes the naming of the prominent buildings such as the new National Children's Hospital. And again, there's an opportunity to honour a revolutionary patriot, the Mayo woman Kathleen Lynn. She challenged many of the norms in society at the time in relation to women, being a suffragette, being a fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons, the first resident doctor in the Eye and Ear Hospital. She was instrumental in the rollout of the BCG vaccine. She was a soup kitchen worker during the lockout in 1913, a Citizens' Army volunteer, and an officer commanding of the City Hall garrison at the end of the Easter week 1916, and she was a prisoner of war. She became a TD and a councillor as well as founder of St Ultan's Hospital, where she worked until she was 80 years of age. So there's widespread and cross-party support for the naming of the new hospital to be Kathleen Lynn's Children's Hospital. This is in recognition of her important role in the delivering of the medical care for women and children of Dublin, especially the poor, and for her pioneering vision in setting up and running of St Ultan's Hospital. So, Minister, there would be no more fitting time to do this as we celebrate the Céad Bhliain since Manona Hearn finally won the vote. I really think that we should look at this in a sincere way, and I cannot see any impediment to us naming that hospital the Kathleen Lynn Children's Hospital, and I would ask you to give it serious consideration.